What's up everybody, it's Matt from Peter Glenn, and in this video we're going to talk to you about base swaps and exactly what they are and why you shouldn't worry about it when you're buying a board. Let's check this out. So this video is really about when you see that graphic that says base color may vary, and it kind of explains it and explains why you might not get the exact base that you thought you were getting. So when it comes to snowboard bases, there's two main ways that they actually get the graphics on the bottom of your board. Now the main way, the way that they did it in the past is you had this P-Tex, and it was basically a clear material, and then they would silk screen the graphic on the inside backwards and it would actually show through. This way, if you got a little scratch in your board, it wouldn't actually hit the graphic. Also, we can't actually have anything on the P-Tex or it's not going to repel the snow and it's not going to work. The board's not going to slide properly. Nowadays, they pretty much do that similar thing, but they're actually infusing the graphics into the P-Tex on the inside. It's just a little bit more durable and you get a better bond and actually makes the boards more durable too. But when you're looking at this graphic on this Rossignol Juggernaut, you're seeing the green, the skulls, the purple, all of that is actually technically on the inside of the board and it's showing through. So the big advantage of this is that when they're making this graphic, you can see the green, the purple, this kind of dark, I don't even know what color that is, maybe it's a dark green, but basically when you're doing this kind of graphic where it's on the inside, you can do anything. You can print anything you want. You can print photos, you can print letters, you can print anything. If you can think of it, it can go in the base of the board because it's literally just like printing off a photo on a piece of paper. Now when you do look at it, it's not super crisp, but again, it's clear enough that you can actually see exactly what the graphic is, and it does look really cool. When it comes to these boards, if you do actually see that graphic or that text on the page that says base color may vary, don't worry about it. It's probably gonna be this exact same graphic because they basically print it every single time on every single base. And a lot of times there's not gonna be a lot of different variances. The one thing that might be a difference is that maybe from one size to the next, there might be different color bases for different color sizes. But again, pretty much with these, it's gonna be what you see is what you get. All right, now where you're gonna notice the difference and when you're gonna really get that base color may vary and you're not sure what you're gonna get, it's gonna be in these die cut bases. So these are very cool, and you can actually see die cut bases. The lines are super crisp. Colors are very bold. They're usually not super detailed when it comes to these boards because essentially the way that these bases are made is they're actually punched out of two different pieces of material. So how they basically make this graphic is they take a piece of black P-Tex and they take a piece of white P-Tex and they actually have a punch, a laser cutter, depends on the company, but they'll basically punch out the pieces almost like a puzzle. And then what they'll do is they'll take the black pieces and they'll take the white pieces and they'll swap them and put them back together. And basically they'll fuse them together, and once the board gets put together, everything's the exact same thickness. It's a very strong bond. You really can't feel if you run your fingernail across those seams. Everything is very seamless design, even though there technically is a seam there. It's a very tight construction and it's not something that you're gonna have to worry about, and it's very durable. Likewise, the graphic is super durable too because this is literally a solid piece of black P-Tex. This is a solid piece of white P-Tex. So the only way you're actually gonna mess up the graphic is if you get a gouge in this thing that goes all the way to your core, and if you've got that, how the board looks and the graphic is the least of your concerns. You need to get that thing fixed. But again, with this, you're gonna get those super crisp graphics. Another thing that's really cool too that a lot of the companies have been starting to do is kind of both versions. So what they'll actually do is they'll take a graphic that's been printed or infused into a clear P-Tex, and then they'll take, let's say, a black P-Tex, and then what they'll do is they'll do the same process. They'll actually punch them out and put them together. So the cool thing is they can get that really crisp, solid black, white, whatever color they want, and then they can actually have part of it be a graphic with a fade, with a photo, with whatever they want. But essentially that is gonna be a die cut base, and that's where you're gonna get that swap. Now, why you actually see base color may vary, when the snowboard companies make these boards, they do not waste materials. So obviously with this Never Summer, this graphic on the bottom, when we look at it, we can actually see that this black, this is actually all one piece. And then this white, this is all one piece. And sometimes you might see a company that have, like big letters across the bottom, and there might be extra pieces inside of letters. Or again, depending on the graphic, there could be more than 2 pieces, but this specific board is only 2 pieces. So this is black and white. Now they also have white and black because they had to punch the negative space out of each material. So what they can do is they basically take the white material with the S and this kind of line with the snowboarder, and they'll put it together with the black background, but then they're gonna take that white background and they're gonna put it together with the black. Now this is how they don't waste materials, because we want to be as eco-friendly as possible. We wanna make sure we can snowboard for years and years to come. So they want to do the most eco-friendly and most sustainable ways, and not just waste materials too, because that takes the price of things up. So they will use the opposite swaps. Sometimes you'll actually see boards where they'll use multiple colors, more than just 2. They might use 3 or 4, and then you can get a ton of different color combinations. But again, they don't do this so they're not wasting those materials. But when they put those things together, they're not going through and saying, here is this board in this size with this color base, and then the same board in this same size with this color base, and then this board in a different size with 2 different bases. It would be a logistics nightmare. So when the boards do come out, they come assorted. There's no way to actually get a specific base with the main color being black and the secondary color being white, unless you walk into the store and you grab the board and you pick it up and you see it right in front of you. That's the only way that you're actually gonna guarantee a specific base color on the bottom of a snowboard. So when it comes to ordering your snowboard and you see that graphic or you see that text that says base color may vary, know that you might not get this exact base. And when it comes down to it, there is no way to guarantee it. When you place an order, whether it's with Peter Glenn or with any company, there's not a single warehouse worker that's gonna go back and start thumbing through every single board just to find that one base that's the exact color you want, especially if you've got 3 or more colors on the base. It would, again, just be a logistics nightmare. And then also, company might not have it. These things do come completely random and completely assorted. So we could get one board in one size, and we might get the black and white base on every single one that they shipped us. There's a good chance we didn't get the white and black. There's also a chance that somebody else got just the white and black. But for the most part, all the companies and all the retailers, we do get a mix of them. But again, it's not separated and there is no way to get it. I always say, don't worry about it. It's one of those things where some people get very, very like, oh my God, I want to make sure that I have this color base. I can tell you one thing, this is on the bottom of your snowboard. Unless you're standing around posing with your snowboard, that's the only time it's gonna really, really matter. If you're riding and you can see the bottom of your snowboard, that means that you're probably in a position you're not supposed to be in, and what color the main color on your base is gonna be the least of your concern. You should probably be wondering which hospital you're going to. So again, when it comes down to it and you're placing an order for your snowboard, don't worry about the color of the base. It doesn't matter. The board's gonna ride the same no matter what graphic it has. It's gonna ride the same no matter what graphic it has on the top too. But again, the base, least of your concerns, and do take note that you might not get the black and white base. You might get the white and black base. But if you got any questions beyond what we talked about in this video, definitely leave some comments down below. We're on there every single day trying to answer your questions. We want to make sure we can get you in some rad gear, but most importantly, we want to make sure it's going to fit you, and most importantly, fit your riding style. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, and definitely get that notification bell on too so you can find out when all the new videos drop. And grab yourself a new board. Don't worry about the base color. Just get out and ride, because any day of riding is a good day of riding.